Welcome to the Light, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lee from Lights, Camera, Rant. As always, I like to say welcome, and if it's good afternoon, good evening, or good night, any above four of whatever you listen to this podcast. So, it's the third week into the new year. How are we going with our New Year's resolutions, everybody? Have you kept yours? Are you still pumping it through? Or have you hit that point where you're like, nah. Look, it's already the 20th day in, or it's the 15th day in. I'll have to try next year. You see it a lot when you go to the gym. Have you ever been to the gym and the first week or 2 weeks, it's absolutely nuts. You have so many people in there, and then next thing you know, like half of the people dropped off. Where is everybody? Once upon a time when I did used to go to the gym, I did do that, and I did notice the fact I was like, whoa, look at all these people, first crack in the new year. Oh, that's awesome. And about 2 or 3 weeks later, I was like, okay, I can see the regulars and a couple of new people. Where is everybody else? No. Oh, alrighty then. Yes, that was once upon a time when I used to go to the gym. But yeah, look, guys, if it's not a gym, if it's just want to just be a better you, improving your skills, better tomorrow. I hope you guys are smashing it. Don't give up your New Year's resolutions. Because, there's a lot of people who do, but there are a lot of people who do stick to them. The results are outstanding. All it takes is 1% each day going to New Year. So, enough of the positivity stuff. Let's get into the hard, real stuff that you guys really listen to this podcast. Movies, TV shows, and video games. So, obviously, anyone who's new, welcome. Anyone who's come back for another session, go sit in the corner. You know what to do. Snacks are there, drinks are there. So sit back and let's listen to it. So let's get into the very first things that we always do. We get news, and then we go with 2 reviews. So this movie review I have for you today is going to be BIRDMAN. Yep, it's going to be BIRDMAN starring Michael Keaton. So I've got that review for you guys later as well. We've got, of course, Boba Fett episode 3. So that's another one I'm definitely going to have to review and get into because, let's just say, things are heating up, and you got to prepare for war, guys. But enough of that later. Let's get into the news, guys. So first things first, we found out the fact that Netflix's biggest hit, The Red Notice, starring Gal Gadot, The Rock, and Ryan Reynolds, beautiful Ryan Reynolds, that has been green lit. They're moving forward with sequel. But not only sequel, they're moving forward with sequels that apparently they want to shoot back to back, which, sometimes that can work out very well, shooting back to back. For example, like Pirates of the Caribbean 2 and 3, or Harry Potter 7 Part 1, Part 2, or Infinity War Endgame. There's also sometimes where that doesn't work as well, and you do feel the effects of it. And usually, sometimes, depending how it's perceived, sometimes the middle one's not as good, or the third one's not as good because you could tell the fact it's a bit stretched. But guys, if you really enjoyed Red Notice, that's getting sequels. Hopefully that fits into both. I know Gal Gadot's obviously busy because her next big film is Cleopatra. Yep. So Cleopatra, she's going to be starring in that movie, so it's going to be really interesting to see how she's going to portray it. Obviously, The Rock's got products coming out of his ass all the time. And obviously, Ryan Reynolds is currently taking a break from acting due to Red Notice, Free Guy, and another movie, which I can't remember the name, with Will Ferrell. He kind of shot all 3 of those like back to back. So he's currently right now taking time off. So hopefully they do get these 3 big name actors again to shoot the sequels, because it was Netflix's biggest opening movies on streaming service, which And when you have these three heavyweights, of course it's going to be massive, you know. And it is on, don't worry guys, it is on my hit list to watch, which I will have a review obviously coming later down the track to watch it. And I've seen all the reviews for it. So, you know, if you did really enjoy it, well guys, you're in for a treat. If you didn't, too bad. So sad. But moving on, another news where we did get, if we stick with The Rock going a DC route, the Batman with Robert Pattinson has been confirmed for a PG-13 rating. Now, look, I've seen a couple of people get ups in arms about this. You know, oh my God, it's PG-13. Like, why? Why is this so low? Look, guys, relax. The Dark Knight was PG-13, and look at what we got. And I don't know why you're shocked. It's Warner Brothers. They're going to want everyone to see this. They're not going to take a risk. Warner Brothers take a risk making an M or an MA Batman movie? Oh, why on earth would Warner Brothers do that? You know, Dark Knight, Batman Beyond, you know, the Joker. You know, why would they, you know, take a risk at all with the Batman? No, not saying the Joker, but with their Batman legacy. You know, it's about, let's see, the Batman comes out next year, which is this year, which is 2022, which means we will get a reboot of the Batman. Again, if we keep with the trend in 2028 or 2029, that's when we get to see a new Batman, which, you know, this year we're getting 3 different Batman, which is outstanding. But I digress. But yes, PG-13. It shouldn't come to a shock. We knew this was going to happen, guys. Like, fully prepared. Like, they're not going to pull the trigger right now. And I feel like the only time they're actually going to pull the trigger on making a Batman more, you know, M or pull the trigger on an R is the fact they've fully run out of ideas. But they're not going to. They're just going to keep rebooting it again and again, which I keep preaching that they need to stop and make Batman Beyond. That's Blade Runner meets Batman. It's money, guys, but hey, it's Warner Brothers. They don't know what they're doing. Neither do they. And we're just along for the ride. But yes, PG-13 for the Batman, which is apparently clocking out about 2 hours and 58 minutes, I do believe, or 55 minutes. So it's going to be a long film, which is still, there's a lot of rumors are going around apparently with Robert Pattinson, whether he is happy with how the plot came out, or the fact that apparently there's been a lot of stuff cut out. Apparently he doesn't want to return to Batman. There's a lot of floating around of what's going to happen, of what rumors, which, you know, will all come to light when that movie comes out. And look, I will definitely go see this, obviously 110%. But at this stage, I will have to admit I'm more excited seeing Michael Keaton return this year. That's 100% Michael Keaton returning as the Batman. Now, pushes aside Robert Pattinson because I'm like, yeah, look, it's going to be gritty, it's going to be different. At the same time, I'm like, I feel like we've gotten the year 1 or year 2 of Batman before. It's been done. Let's move on. Like, get some more gritty. You know, you've only had Ben Affleck as a gritty older Batman for a very short time because, you know, Warner Brothers doesn't know what to do with the Snyderverse, which we've seen terribly what happens. And the fact today, the Restore the Snyderverse is still trending. Which is, you know, no surprise to anybody. But moving on, Aquaman 2 has finished filming, which was on Jason Momoa's Twitter page or Instagram. One of the two is the fact that they finished filming. So that's obviously going to go into post-production, do all the wonderful special effects, and get ready for its 16th or the 12th this year release. It's going to be a nice Christmas present, which I'm pretty sure Aquaman 1 also came out in November as well. So that's going to be really good, really pumped. So Aquaman 2, The Lost Kingdom. That will be our very last superhero movie for the year. So I got to gear up for that. What also we've got is, still speaking of the DC realm, Peacemaker, the spin-off from the Suicide Squad movie with John Cena, is now currently streaming on binge. For anyone internationally, that's obviously HBO Max for you guys. So episodes 1, 2, and 3, that's currently streaming. So I will definitely be watching that because it looks funny as all hell. And look, spoilers alert, I can't still get over the fact that John Cena killed Rick Flag in that movie, because I felt really sorry for Rick Flag. He was just trying to do the right thing, and he got the raw deal of that movie. So raw deal of that. Yet the fact the guy that kills him gets a spin-off show. How is that fair? You know? Then again, Loki got his own spin-off show, and he caused a lot of drama. Like, he's still alive, but Tony's dead. Yeah, so I guess it works out. Because, you know, always, as always, villains sometimes, more often than not, are more interesting than the hero. Because the hero can, do so much. You know, but a villain can do a lot more. You can do a lot more with them. And just, some of the best villains, and some actors just prefer playing villains because of the fact you can do so much more than just being the hero. Which, Tom Hiddleston loves playing Loki, and it's going to be the very sad day when he does call it a day, because he is rumored that he will appear. He will appear obviously in Doctor Strange 2 and something else coming forward, which we just don't know where. But Peacemaker's ready to go, episode 1, 2, and 3. Definitely tune in, because I will have my review coming out for those, because I'm very interested to watch that. Obviously, also coming next week, as I'm recording this, so we're looking at like the 20th or the 21st. About 25th or 26th. We've got apparently the Moon Knight trailer for the Disney Plus Marvel show. Full trailer will be dropping. I'll definitely be sharing that on my Facebook page, Instagram, obviously all social media, so definitely stay tuned. So right at this stage is that we know these shows are coming, but Marvel and Disney have not put an exact date of when they will be released. As far as we do know is the fact that Moon Knight, obviously confirmation with this trailer, will be the very first one that will kick off the year, and it will come out before obviously Doctor Strange 2, because of the fact it's rumored that's Moon Knight's meant to tie in with Moon Knight is meant to tie in with Doctor Strange. There's a lot going on with Doctor Strange 2, a hell of a lot, and it's turning almost into like Avengers Age of Ultron, with the fact that this becomes a big centerpiece and multiple strings come into it, and even multiple strings come out of it. But yes, so Moon Knight trailer coming soon. I'm really curious to see this. I don't actually know a lot about Moon Knight. However, Oscar Isaac is going to be doing, and from the little tidbits I've seen, like, I'm really curious to see what he brings to this role and how this fits into the MCU, because it just looks something, again, which Marvel does this very well, something different. You don't see, to Marvel's credit, is they're always doing something different. You're always getting something different all the time, so nothing really stays the same in their show. Each show has its own kind of like, yes, it does fit in the overall arch of the main story, but it has its own place and its uniqueity about it. So definitely tune in for that, because obviously the last time we saw Oscar Isaac in a superhero role was Apocalypse, which did a little... Look, X-Men Apocalypse at its high points, but had a lot of low points, and it feels like there's a lot of stuff that they could have done better with it. Even though the fact that it had Bryan Singer returning, like, there was such high hopes, but it is what it is, and we will always have X-Men Days of Future Past, which is fantastic, and I'll fight anybody about it. Hugh Jackman is jacked in that. But continue on speaking about Disney Marvel shows. We passed the 1-year anniversary of WandaVision. That is indeed correct. And, looking back on that show, there was so much riding on WandaVision because the fact it was the first Marvel TV show, and looking at it was just like, oh, this is cool, this is something different. How are the Marvel TV shows going to fit in with the overall arc? Do you have to watch it? Don't you have to watch it? There was a lot going into that. And the funny thing is with this particular show is that Kevin Feige and his wonderful team, this was the perfect show to launch into the Disney Plus TV show universe, because the fact that there was so many, when you saw the trailer, there were so many questions of like, what, how is Vision back, what's happened, and you thought you're going in with this like all right, it's probably gonna be some action packed. And the first 2 episodes came out, and it was really weird of like what's going on. But none of us were prepared for the gut-wrenching, like, Indiana Jones 2, straight into the chest, ripping out the heart, showing you that was WandaVision. Everyone was guessing every single scene, every single line. Was it Mephisto? Is it this? How's Quicksilver in the universe? What is she actually doing? What's this tie in with Doctor Strange? Is Wanda aware? Is there some overall thing happening? And there is not one person that I know that didn't like WandaVision, in the sense of the fact, it was either really good Marvel stuff, or it was a very sad love story, or the fact, the special effects were on point, and you could tell the fact that, that all this money went, Marvel, Disney, shoveling that money into Marvel was all well spent, and Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany did a fantastic job. WandaVision is one of my highly rated shows, and it's really sad. It's a sad love story. When you get to the end and you find out how everything happens, and you're just like, oh my God. Like all of this pain that she's been through. And then, once you get past that, you're like, oh my God, everything she's going to bring into Doctor Strange 2, everywhere she is at the moment, she's going like, oh, that's a nice game laid out. Boom! It's just what she's going to bring in Doctor Strange 2 is immeasurable, and I can't wait. There's rumors circulating of everything, what's going to happen, and it's just, I'm so excited. I just cannot contain my excitement. Doctor Strange 2 is my top tier pick for this year that I'm most excited for. And DC, we have maybe a bit of Flash. But yeah, 1 year from WandaVision, great start, great acting, and it paved the way for everything to come afterwards. But I think WandaVision holds a very special place amongst all the Disney shows that we've gone so far. That and Loki, and obviously Hawkeye for me. So, continuing on. What we've also got is, staying in the Marvel Universe now, is the fact that in Black Panther 2, so that has gone back into production. They're going back into filming because Letitis, I'll probably butcher her name. She has returned because obviously the production team stopped before Christmas, an extra couple of weeks early, because of the fact that she hurt herself on set. It was due with her shoulder blade. Apparently it was a little bit more serious than first thought, so they paused it, and now it's going fully in production. And Shuri, that's the character's name, returning for Black Panther 2, and she's obviously going to be shooting more scenes, so they're going back to full production, which I wish her all the health-wise, all the best, and hope that she's on the mend and there's no more accidents. And hopefully, her shoulder's perfectly fine, because I'd be like, if it was me, I'd be like, all right, I'm healed. I'm good to go. Let's keep going. And I'm ready for Black Panther 2, 3, 4. Like, I'm in for the whole ride. But yes, that's back into production. Can't wait. There is a lot of questions surrounding Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, for obvious reasons. So definitely stay tuned for that. And the last little bit of news that I do hope this is true. So this is obviously just a rumor, but I really do hope it's true because it would just be outstanding. Is the fact that apparently rumor is that Rockstar Games will be announcing soon the fact that they will be releasing a Red Dead Redemption 2 next gen patch for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox. For the Xbox. So I really hope that is indeed true. But the tagline on that is that they're going to announce that, but they're also going to announce that they're doing a remake of the first Red Dead Redemption, which would be fantastic. The first, I loved Red Dead Redemption 2. Loved it. The whole story is fantastic. The world, everything in it. I was not disappointed in that game. I rate that game, and to me, the only thing that beat it was, I think, the only thing that beat it in Game of the Year was God of War, which was not even mad. But the fact that Red Dead Redemption was right up there, because that is a fantastic game. The story is moving, it's sad, and you feel everything for Arthur, who before the game came out got a lot of slack because they thought the fact, it's not Mr. Marston. No, so why would we give a shit? But you gave a shit, all right. You gave a shit. But going back to the first Red Dead Redemption, so this game is really good. So I've completed it once when I first bought it, and I completed it again when I just had to go back. So I played it on Xbox One. But Red Dead Redemption is, I got it as a recommendation. I had a mate who just said to me, he was like, go pick this up. It's, Grand Theft Auto in the West. And I was like, yeah, all right, I'll pick it up and I'll check it out. Holy shit. I thought this game was great. The story was great. The characters were great. And the freaking ending is just, talk about gut-wrenching. You're like, oh, what? No, that's not fair. But a little bit further on, it makes it all justified. But look, if you haven't played Red Dead Redemption, go play it. It is a great game. You can download the Xbox backwards compatibility store, as well as even with the addition of Undead Nightmare, which was zombies, which at the time, I will admit, I was like, I'm so sick of zombies because of Call of Duty. They're just trying to pay for their buck. But Rockstar handled zombies very well. It's a very unique thing about it, and it's fantastic how they do it. So definitely go to that check out. So I really hope that this rumor is true. Hope we get the patch for Red Dead 2. Hope we get the remake. I hope I haven't had any glitches yet. I just hope the fact that the people who do remake that game put a little bit more TLC in they did the Grand Theft Auto Definitive Trilogy for obvious reasons. But as I'm saying that, I haven't got any issues so far playing the Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition so far. It's nice returning back to Vice City. So guys, that is all news so far. So there's a lot taken there, a lot coming out, a lot back in production, and a lot of what's to come. So definitely get pumped up. Also, my apologies. Also got to mention, if you haven't watched already, Internals is now streaming on Disney Plus for free. Definitely go check it out, Internals, and definitely go check. Once you check out Internals, come back and listen to my review of the Internals, because I almost thought it was going to be the first MCU dud, but did I? Definitely go find out, and definitely get tuned. So definitely enjoy Internals. That's streaming now. So let's get into my two reviews. So first things first, why we're all here is, so I went away this past weekend, and I was looking for movies to download, and I saw this movie called BIRDMAN. BIRDMAN, it came out in 2014, and starring man is Michael Keaton. Batman. Michael Keaton, it's got Edward Norton in it, it's got Zach Galifianakis, and Emma Stone. Now, so this particular movie, so I've seen it, I think I watched the trailer for it when it originally came out, but I never went to the movies to see it, because it, for obvious reasons, it maybe didn't trigger me, or didn't tickle my fancy, or it seemed a bit too serious. So I thought, I saw it, and I thought, I'll download it because it's on Disney Plus. Now, 100%. I've got to say that. So, before I get to that, I was going to say something, but I'll throw away. So, what this is about? This is about Michael Keaton's character, who is Regan Thomas. So, what he's doing is he was a famous. You're going to love this. He was a famous comic book character in the 90s. He did 3 movies as this hero called BIRDMAN. Does it sound familiar? Called BIRDMAN. Now, he did this, and what he's trying to do is the fact he wants to make this play. He's directing it. He's starring it. He's kind of rewritten it for theatre. And what he's trying to do is try and make himself relevant again, and not just a has-been, which you've heard before. Obviously, wants to revitalize his career. So he wants to make this play, and he really wants it to work. And a couple of accidents happen on set, and then we get Edward Norton character who plays the second lead to him, and we've got Emma Stone who plays his daughter. This movie also contains, and Zachary Levi plays his producer or his accountant. We also get Naomi Watts, Amy Ryan, and it's kind of, I won't say meta, but there's a couple of points in it that you do, you very reflect the real world at the time of 2014. A lot of big names to get dropped because he's obviously he's trying to get the play, he's trying to get a new star, and after he goes through all those big names, he gets Edward Norton, who both Michael Keaton, Edward Norton, and Emma Stone bring a game to this movie. So this is fantastic. So along this journey where he's trying to make this film, he goes through a whole of midlife crisis kind of thing. He's a estranged daughter, and the fact that there was really cool, didn't get at the start, but later on I kind of got it. He's got this inner monologue in his head of a second person talking to him, which is BIRDMAN. And basically saying the fact he needs him, he should have made BIRDMAN 4, you're nothing without me, you need me, you should go back and do this, we should be doing blockbusters, we should be doing this theatre crap. So he's having this mini monologue through the film as well as all these serious events going on. So this film had a budget of 18 million, and the box office made 103 million at the box office. But when it came out, it was a smash hit. This won 193 awards. It's a serious film with its funny moments, obviously. So the story is fantastic, and you feel for these characters. Obviously, the cast do great. But the biggest thing I did like about this movie, which I fell in love with, my partner May didn't really like the film. So it does go for 119 minutes. So it is a sit down kind of movie, not something you just put in the background and just turn on. What I really love is how this movie is shot. So this movie is shot as in one shot. So this entire series, 119 minutes, is shot as it's just one go. So you've got characters coming in, you've got characters going out, you've got people walking, you've got the camera following them. So it's a unique kind of way a film is shot, which you don't see very often. Obviously, how hard it is to shoot. Which I tip my hat off to the director, which Agindro G. I cannot learn his last name, so I tip my hat off to you, sir, because it is just, it's really cool to see something different like that. I didn't know this film had this type of camera. So so the whole thing is shot in one go. There is only, I think, 2 or just one moment where you can just kindly tell if it's a split scene kind of changes. But everything else, shot with one go. It's like, someone having a camera on your chest from 8 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night and not taking it off. So you see everything from everyone's point of view. The camera jumps to different characters for different moments. It's shot beautifully, I have to say, and It's something you don't see everything very often, and is one of my highest points of this entire movie, which I absolutely adored. Which I thought, I was like, oh, well, shit. No wonder it won all these awards. Yep, 193 awards. So, if you're looking for a movie that's, I do understand I talk about Endgame, obviously I talk about Batman, I talk about superheroes, I talk about Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, I talk a lot of like action, fantasy, adventure, sci-fi films. But if you're looking for a movie that's a bit more down to earth with a bit more serious themes to it, and it's obviously this one is slightly superhero related, obviously, but it's not like that at all. It's not, so it does a lot of like serious themes, midlife crisis, drugs, alcohol, and sometimes that same thing that we do, which is only human, we just try and find new ways to be relevant, especially when the fact at one point we were, you say you're on top of the world and you're right here and you try and get back. And it does it so well, and Michael Keaton brings his complete A game for this, and it completely shines through. The only negative I will say about this movie is there's a couple of points where it's more at the start of the film where you're like, what WTF? What's going on? And there's also laid down like 3/4 of the way of the movie is also a point where you're like, oh, what's going on? This doesn't really make sense. But once you get to the end, the ending is very good. Like I spoiled the ending for you, but overall the plot, once you watch it from start to finish, it all makes sense. It's just when you're going through it, you're like, what's going on here? But overall, look, it's my high recommendation movies. I really like this, and it was something different. At the same time, it was something that I was like, this is cool. I wish more movies shot like that or did some, really cool, obviously filmmaking, which we do see in many movies. But this was really cool as doing the one shot. So high recommendation, Birdman. Go check it out. And look, guys, watch it and let me tell you what you think. Like, do you think it was cool? You think it was like, this was lame? This was not. Don't come and tell me that this was worse than Don't Look Up, because I will reach through this mic and I will have a verbal war with you about the whole thing, because the fact that Don't Look Up was garbage. Just more I think about it, more I thought of like, yeah, I got the themes, I get the point, but the movie as a whole is shit. And I don't recommend anyone to go watch that film unless you want a complete snore fest and wonder what you're doing with your life. Honestly, it is just not worth your time. Watch it for the hype, but that's about it. So, but yeah, Birdman, high recommendation. Let me know your thoughts. Okay, so we're moving on to more. Let's go back to Star Wars. Let's go back to the wonderful world of Star Wars, which, before I get into this, was I saw this all over on TikTok, and it was so Hayden Christensen obviously was returning back as Darth Vader. He did this Force for Change for kids, and right at the end, after the whole speech, he says, "May the Force be with you." And I saw it flood over TikTok of people going, "Oh my god!" Like, it just took him back to took him back, 17 years ago, or 18 years ago, in episode 2 and 3 when he used to say that, and now you look how old you are and you're watching it now and you see him say it and you're like, God, like, I really, for that man, because obviously we do know that he got a lot of criticism for his acting in episode 2 or 3 of Darth Vader. And look, to me, looking back on the films, I don't think his acting was that bad. I didn't think he was acting bad. He's trying to portray, a massive weight of the fact that you're playing a younger version of a character that's so iconic and will strike fear for generations to come. Like, that is a lot to take in. And that's a lot to try and convey in only 2 movies when, like, the actual character Darth Vader is in, he's had more screen time than Anakin has. Only Clone Wars is only really fleshed out the character, which we do see in Clone Wars, which does extremely well. So I definitely do recommend to watch that if you want to know more of Anakin's backstory and anguish. But to me, I thought he did a solid job of playing a younger Darth Vader, and Episode 3, the duel with Obi-Wan Kenobi is just still an outstanding scene in cinema. The music, the emotion, the fight, what they had to do to get in that is just great. And a similar thing, I'll fight anyone who goes, oh, no, what was the shitty what was the one? Star Wars, not Last Jedi? Yeah, The Last Jedi. If they say anyone says bad, I'm like, go, see that cliff? Go, run for it, then come back so I can hit you. Because of the fact that duel, there was so much weight to that, and I can't wait. I can't wait for the fact of Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show. But yes, we do see Hayden Christensen say to the Force be with you, and it's a very special moment, even if it is for a very brief scene. So, Boba Fett Episode 3. So this particular one, so I like this episode. So this episode starts off with the fact that we still get flashbacks of the Tusken Raiders, where he's going through all that, and which unfortunately in the flashback we do find out that sadly, spoilers alert, that someone gets them, and you feel for him. You honestly, in this flashback, just the flashback alone, is you feel for him. You feel for Boba Fett, you feel for the Tusken Raiders, which, turn the clocks back 30 years, and you'd be like, no, I don't give a shit about these sand people, kill the sand people. But now you're like, oh, their tribe. Oh my God. There was just so much to it, and you felt for him. You really felt for him. It was a completely, different, completely different feeling than you would have got without this show for obvious reasons. So we still see flashbacks of that, of him trying to obviously set himself and get away from Tusken Raiders and set himself up and try and find his armor for obvious reasons. But back in today, if you will, so obviously what happens is the fact that Boba Fett is approached by a bloke, which says that these cyborgs are stealing his stealing his water, and he should go deal with them because he's a new ruler around here. Which I got. So what happens is that Boba Fett goes see these punks, talks to him, a couple of them got a bit of lip to him, and he actually hires them. Hires this gang of street thugs or cyborgs. So I had the biggest cyberpunk feels by watching this. I was like, cyberpunk vibes all over this gang. Obviously, using technology to enhance different parts. Which you usually do see in different parts of them for different reasons, a gun, an eye, but massive cyberpunk feels, massive. So he enlists them, and as he's doing that, he's also because the other guy was like, oh, what are you going to do with these guys? I told you to try and get them. They're stealing from me. So you guys, Boba Fett gives the guy the money, core of the price, and tells them to lower their prices because apparently the gang says that they're too high, which to me sounds about right. It's probably something they would do. Old man, desert, he's going to jack up his prices as you would in the desert, especially to some street punks. So we get that, and then what happens is the fact that we get a flashback, but when he wakes up, we get the fight between the Black Widow, I couldn't say his name last week, but I'll Black Wookiee. Which I thought this fight wasn't going to happen, but we do get this fight, and so we get Boba Fett versus him. The Street Gang come and help. Boba Fett kind of gets his ass kicked because obviously he's been in the back to tank. He hasn't got his armor, so it's a bit of a brawl, and they definitely overcome him, and he gets trapped in the Raycon pit. And then that moves to the fact that we get the Hutts returning. They try and do a swap for the Blacks with a present. When they tell them the fact that apparently they're leaving because of the fact there's a bigger threat coming, so they don't want a bar of it. But they give him a Rancor as a gift. So he's got a new Rancor for his Rancor pit. Which is really cool. But the really cool thing is the fact that Danny DeChio actually delivers it, which is really cool. That guy is fantastic. He's been in Machete. He's been in Spy Kids. He's been in some Mexican westerns, and has a big connection with Robert Rodriguez, who did direct this episode. So that was just bound to happen. It was really cool. But there's a really good scene where he says that. He's like, I can teach you how to ride this thing. And he's like, Boba Fett's like, you can ride this thing? He's like, yes, you can. And he's like, I've ridden things, 10 times this size. Like, I can ride this too. Teach me. Which, long stretch. It could be the fact that that's a stretch to the whole Star Wars Holiday Special, which Boba Fett first appeared in 1978, which you see him riding like a kind of a dinosaur kind of thing, alien, which that could be a very stretched drawback, but that could be what it is, which Danny Trejo's character is like, yes, I can teach you how to ride it. And as that moves on, they try and the Boba Fett finds the mayor to find out what's going on. Mayor's fled, seen with the mayor's underling, which we've seen in episode 1 and 2, turns into a chase fight with the Cyberpunk kids, which, it's not a bad street fight, but it's funny how the world of Star Wars and the world of Boba Fett, these aliens, the Rancor, all of that look fantastic, but some of these bits with the hoverboards and the Cyberpunk kids was kind of CGI was kind of a little bit iffy, if you know what I mean. I was like, oh really? The fact that's where it gets a little bit iffy out of anywhere else. But it was all right. I'll just say it's all right. It's all right. But after all that, he tells them the fact he's off, he's somewhere else. And the fact that the last thing is the fact that, Boba Fett and Moss are like, well, let everything go on. Let's prepare for war. So, and the Black Wookiee, he lets him go. And says, live your own life. Don't work for these people. The Hutts didn't want him back either. Which I do hope that he does reappear. I'd be so gutted if they introduce this really cool bounty hunter, and they're like, yep, no. Don't need you anymore. So hopefully he does return, either in the next episodes coming up or the last episode, because we are currently at the halfway point. So we got episode 4, 5, and 6 that are coming out, which are going to be very interesting. Look, this episode, action-wise, definitely uptrend. I was still very interested in this one. It's still keeping the momentum going, which came from episode 2. So I'm still very interested to see where this is going. And I know a lot of people are saying, come on, we want to see Boba Fett in his ruthless mode, which I feel like if we haven't seen it so far, I feel like they're building up to it. He's going to get, he's keep in the back to tank. So I feel like maybe, he's in the back tank and he's going to keep being it for the next 2 episodes. But the last episode, he's not going to need it, and he's going to go full Boba Fett killing mode, as we saw in The Mandalorian, which I really do hope. which obviously we're going to see more of the biker gang, see how that's all going to get, and the fact that they have a Rancor as well, so they can feed people to that. So probably the most interesting coming out of this is the fact that Hutts say that there's a bigger threat. So I'm very interested to know what the bigger threat's going to be, because obviously, the Hutts were a very big threat. Obviously, there's a whole series, a couple of movies about that. So it's going to be very interesting to see what is going to be the bigger threat. Where's this going? We also do get a small. At some point, we did get in a flashback. We do see the lady with the tiny repair robots from The Mandalorian. She makes an appearance. So I saw that. I'm very curious to see how much will cross over The Mandalorian on when he got to meet, where was he in all the lead up to when he meets Mando? How did he know about Mando? How that all comes into be. But yeah, it's always interesting to see where this is going. I really do hope Boba Fett keeps the momentum going. I have seen a couple of things, people saying that, this is boring. People are calling it dark. Viewers are dropping off. This is as exciting as The Mandalorian. And look, I don't think it's as bad as what people are making it to be. What do you consider, not interesting? This is Star Wars. This is post Episode 6 lore. This is still fantastic to watch. This is still so much better than the threequel trilogy that we got besides Kylo Ren. This is still interesting to watch. I'm still invested. Yes, I found Episode 1 a little bit slow. That doesn't mean I'm not going to keep watching, because in fact, I love Star Wars. I'm going to keep watching this. Besides Episode 1, I'm loving what they're doing. This could just be, that small stagnant growth, because which some shows do. For all we know, Episode 4, 5, and 6 can be absolute killers because of the fact of taking Episode 1, 2, and 3 so slow. Which I could be completely wrong. I was wrong with Black Wookiee when he was going to attack. So anything can happen. But look, guys, tell me what your thoughts. Are you enjoying Boba Fett? Are you excited to see what happens next 3 episodes? Or are you nah, I'm done. Let's move on. Let's go to Peacemaker. That looks better. It's not enough doing, or something's wrong. Let me know your thoughts. To me, I'm still going to tune in, because as a love Star Wars, love the world, and I love this kind of world that The Mandalorian has built. And, for all we know, the fact that, what is The Mandalorian Season 3 going to be like without Baby Yoda? How is it going to be like? Are you still going to be interested in the fact there is no Baby Yoda? I don't feel like Baby Yoda should be in Season 3. He may pop up for an episode, but that's it. Because I feel like the fact that we need to focus back on the Mando, because of the fact he has a massive battle coming up, which I can't wait for. But look, guys, just let me know what you guys thought on Boba Fett. My money, I'm still all in. Still all in. At the very start, I was like, ooh, do I pull out? Nah, all in. Let's keep pressing forward. So look, guys, I would say thank you very much for joining with me this episode. And as always,
thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.